So in a post a few days ago, I talked about how shutting down during a conflict, going silent, stonewalling our partner could leave them feeling unheard, alone, and potentially abandoned by us, and that there are healthier alternatives to navigating conflict. And multiple people reached out to me and said that they are in relationships with narcissists or partners who yell at them, call them names, get aggressive, and for them, shutting down is how they stay safe. And they're asking me, are you saying I need to engage in conflict with an aggressive or narcissistic partner? And the answer is absolutely not. Safety is always the number one concern. Self-preservation due to an actual threat to your safety is different than emotional dysregulation and shutting down, even though there's no actual threat to our safety. Does that make sense? And I know it can get confusing, but my goal is that neither partner feels shame. If you feel the need to shut down for any reason, something needs to be addressed in your relationship, right? And listen, I'm not a coach or a counselor, but in my opinion, as soon as someone is aggressive or contemptuous or dominant or even dismissive and calling you crazy, that's a toxic conversation at that point, and you need to remove yourself from it, especially if you don't feel safe. And if you can't leave because they won't let you, that is a crime. That is 100% abuse, and we need to treat it as such. Not being able to have safe conflicts is a really big deal, especially if either one of you has a habit of getting very heated and yelling or throwing things and, God forbid, hitting each other. We simply cannot allow this. We need to have a zero tolerance policy for aggressiveness during a conflict. It doesn't mean we're perfect. It just means you can be angry, you can be fired up, but you cannot be aggressive or violent. There needs to be a difference. And the difference is I can be passionate about something and still be respectful. I can be angry and still be able to communicate with you. I can be upset, but not constantly interrupt you or call you names or throw things. It's imperative that we show our partner we are a safe place for them to have a conflict with. And it's imperative we hold our partner to that standard as well. At the end of the day, I never want you to get to the point where you're continually shutting down or stonewalling your narcissist or abusive partner because that's the only way that you feel like you can stay safe. That's heartbreaking, but it's also dangerous. I don't trust them not to hurt you, and ignoring them could only escalate their anger, and I'm not willing to take that risk. I'm not victim blaming you for being in that situation, but we have to make sure you're safe going forward. You don't need to tolerate rage because you're a nice person and you have flaws too. You don't need to make excuses for their aggression, and you don't need to brush off verbal or, God forbid, physical abuse. It is dangerous. You both have to have a strict set of guidelines that you both agree to during conflict. Talk about it beforehand and tell them you will not accept name-calling, yelling, aggression, out-of-control rage. There's a zero tolerance policy for that, and you won't be doing that either. It's not up for debate. If you sense it, in your opinion, that's enough to be able to remove yourself. And if they want to try again, then you're more than happy to when everyone's calm. And if they won't talk about this stuff, if they won't go to counseling with you, and if they continue to show you that they aren't a safe partner, then we can't put ourselves at risk in this relationship any longer. Is that hard? Of course it's hard, but it doesn't make it any less necessary.